What if I told you there's a formula that could have predicted 16 of the last 20 NCAA champions? We asked AI to create the ultimate bracket-busting algorithm, and the results are mind-blowing. Last time we did this for the Super Bowl, the video exploded. Now we're bringing that same energy to March Madness. Just like we did for our viral Super Bowl prediction, we challenged AI to help us create a formula to dominate our office pool. No, it's not 100% accurate. Nothing is when it comes to March Madness. But we wanted a data-driven edge to predict deep tournament runs and spot those hidden upsets everyone misses. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain. You'll see our entire process, the tough decisions we had to make manually, and the shocking results when we put it all together. By the end, you might just have the secret weapon to win your office tournament. Ready to become the bracket genius in your friend group? Let's get started. First, let me show you exactly what goes into this championship predicting formula. Oh wait, there's just one tiny detail I should mention. When I asked the AI if it could actually prove its claim about predicting 16 out of 20 champions, turns out it can't. Apparently, that was just a hypothetical illustration of how the formula might perform. So yeah, we're basing our entire strategy on a formula that hasn't actually been tested. But hey, that's kind of on brand for March Madness predictions, right? Let's just say the AI has as much confidence as that 12th seed coach claiming they're not just happy to be there. Now, I decided to take not just one, but two approaches to cracking the March Madness code. AI versus AI, a bracket battle royale. In the first corner, we have Claude's elaborate 7-factor formula, and in the second corner, ChatGPT's streamlined 4-step approach. Let the algorithms duke it out. First up, Claude's formula is like that coach who has a 500-page playbook. It gave us the NCAA championship index with 7 different factors. Adjusted efficiency margin at 25%, basically how much better a team is than average. Strength of schedule at 20%, because beating directional state tech doesn't impress the committee. Defensive efficiency at 15%, because defense wins championships, or so they say. Experience factor at 15%, counting on seniors who've been there before. Margin of victory in conference games at 10%. Blowouts matter, apparently. Coach's tournament experience at 10%. The Coach K factor. And my personal favorite, the anti-quirk factor at 5%, which is Claude's way of saying, trust me, bro. And remember, Claude claims this formula would have picked 16 of the last 20 champions. You know, if anyone had actually tested it. Meanwhile, ChatGPT came in with a much simpler approach, like that coach who just says, give the ball to our best player. Its tournament success score uses just 4 factors. Adjusted offensive efficiency at 35%. Can you score? That's important. Adjusted defensive efficiency at 35%. Can you stop others from scoring? Also important. KenPom ranking at 15%, because everyone in your office is using KenPom anyway. ELO rating at 15%, which is basically a fancy way of saying, are you good at beating good teams? Simple, clean, efficient. But is it any good? That's what we're about to find out. So we have Claude's detailed 7-step approach versus ChatGPT's streamlined 4-factor formula. It's like comparing a complex motion offense to a simple pick and roll. Now let's see which AI can actually help us cut down the nets in our office pool. Ultimately, we chose ChatGPT's response, mainly because of timing, and we had no idea how to calculate several of Claude's factors like the anti-quirk factor. I mean, what does that even mean? If you can figure it out, feel free to use Claude's formula. We tried to get ChatGPT to pull the data automatically, but didn't have much luck there either. So we rolled up our sleeves and pulled the data manually ourselves. The things we do for content. For adjusted offensive and defensive efficiency, we used barttorvik.com, which has become the go-to for basketball analytics nerds everywhere. For KenPom rankings, we used kenpom.com without a subscription. And for ELO ratings, we went with Warren Nolan's site, though the data was a few days old. But hey, in the world of bracketology, we take what we can get. After a few hours of copy-pasting that I'll spare you from watching, we had everything we needed to put ChatGPT's formula to the test. So now for the moment of truth. Let's see if this AI-powered formula can actually deliver on its promise, or if we're all better off just picking teams based on which mascot would win in a fight or who has the best uniforms. So after all that data collection and number crunching, what did our AI-powered formula predict? Well, it's mostly chalk. which was a bit disappointing. I was hoping for some wild 14-3 upsets or a Cinderella run to the Final Four. But if you look closer at the details, there are some hidden gems that might just help you edge out your coworkers. Let's start with the South region. The most interesting finding? Louisville at the 8th seed has the 3rd highest score in the entire region. Too bad they're an 8th seed though, which means they'll face top-seeded Auburn after the first round. But if you want to pick a big upset, an 8 over a 1, Louisville over Auburn could be your ticket to bracket glory. Michigan at the 5 seed is another standout. The formula puts them above both the 3 and 4 seeds, Iowa State and Texas A and M. So if you're looking for a Sweet 16 surprise, the Wolverines might be your team. We also get our first 10-7 upset with New Mexico taking down Marquette. But look closely, their scores are pretty tight, so this one could go either way. Overall, in the South region, the top 2 teams, Auburn and Michigan State, have scores overwhelmingly better than the rest. But if you're feeling lucky, Louisville and Michigan could be those sneaky picks that make your bracket stand out. Oh, and one other interesting note, take a look at UNC. They have a pretty high score for a play-in team. If they survive the play-in, watch out. Although I guess the same can be said of UC San Diego. Maybe some bracket busters there. Moving to the East region, again, the top 2 seeds, Duke and Alabama, are clear-cut better than the rest. But check this out. BYU has the 3rd best score in the region. That could be a sneaky good pick to make the Elite 8. It's mostly chalked down the region, except for Baylor over Mississippi State in the first round. But let's note some close scores for potential upsets. VCU, as the 11th seed, has a surprisingly high score, but unfortunately, they face our high-scoring BYU in the first round. And Liberty at the 12th seed isn't too far away from 5th seed Oregon. So those might be some sneaky good picks if you're looking to differentiate your bracket. In the Midwest, again, the top 2 seeds, Houston and Tennessee, are at the top. But then another 8th seed shows up in 3rd place as Gonzaga edges out Clemson. No first-round upsets are predicted here, but Clemson over 4 seed Purdue is projected in the 2nd round. After that, it's chalk to the Final Four. Again, if you're feeling risky, Gonzaga might be an upset pick over 1 seed Houston, or maybe Tennessee wins the region. You can pick that however you think is best. Lastly, in the West, it's almost all chalk, but the 12 seed Colorado State is really close to 5 seed Memphis, so that might be a good upset pick if you're looking to gain ground on your coworkers. If you wanted to use Claude's anti-quirk factor or the coaching factor we mentioned earlier, maybe you pick UConn to make a deep run. As a 6th seed, Missouri is rated pretty low by our formula, so it predicts Drake as an upset there. Of course, that gives us all 1 seeds in the Final Four, so that's no fun. You might want to mix it up a bit there to differentiate your bracket. And with Houston and Florida being the top 2 teams according to our formula, it picks Houston as the national champion. Not exactly the boldest prediction in the world, but hey, sometimes the chalk picks win for a reason. So, what do you think? Let us know if this gave you some upset picks. Most importantly for your office pool though, you need to get the winner and as many of the Final Four as you can. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.